I have a feeling Bryce Young will be the best quarterback in this draft. I mean, yeah, I think Bryce Young is definitely going to be good. I couldn't say that about C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson. You don't know, but those guys definitely have a higher upside than Bryce Young.
I mean, I haven't put in the film work like I normally would on these quarterbacks because the 49ers aren't getting them. I will just say surface level, I really like Stroud, but I'm not going to like stamp it and book it because I haven't put in the work or effort into it. So I'm not sure.
I actually think like people always compare players to players of the same ethnicity, but to me, I mean, C.J. Stroud and Joe Burrow, like physically, are very similar. And Burrow went to Ohio State too. He just left. The thing is, it's not C.J. Stroud's fault, but Ohio State does not prepare quarterbacks for the NFL. It's kind of like Alabama with linebackers. Like you don't want an Alabama linebacker. Reuben Foster, Rolando McClain. What is it? Well, they play behind nothing but 5-star defensive linemen.
Yep.
And so these linebackers never have ever had to take on a block in their lives. They just run and hit. And it's not going to be that easy in the NFL. In Ohio State, these quarterbacks, they're great. They're 5-star players, but they got 5-star offensive linemen, and there's never pressure in the pocket, ever. So you're not prepared for the NFL game because in the NFL, there's pressure in the pocket 75% of the time. And that's new for these quarterbacks coming from Ohio State. But that being said, Justin Fields could work out. You know, C.J. Stroud could work out. No one had worked out from Texas Tech until Patrick Mahomes pulled it off. So you can't just write off a quarterback because he went to where he went to school, but you also got to know the history.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree with that. I definitely do. I just, from the little bit that I've seen of him, I just really like the way he plays the position. I mean, I think he's just a really good player, man. I think he's very cerebral. He's got a good arm. He can make all the throws. He's mobile.
Who?
Stroud.
I agree. And he's big.
He's big.
And Bryce Young, he's really small, but like he's better than Tua, who just led the league in NFC in quarterback rating. I understand worrying about durability, but frankly, that's an issue with it.
Small though. Have you seen the picture of him next to Kyler Murray? I was having this debate with somebody. It was with Marco actually. He's like, "Oh no, he's bigger than Kyler," and I'm like, "No, he's not." And so I sent a pic. We were trying to guess what he would measure out at the combine. I sent him a picture next to Kyler. Oh my gosh, so much smaller than Kyler. He was shorter and he was much skinnier than Kyler. That was crazy to me.
He's definitely skinnier. I think they measured at the same heightish, but what I think he's 5'10 plus, which is very short. But I don't care. Kyler Murray he's not a failure, but he didn't not live up to expectations because he's 5'10. It's because he plays Call of Duty too much. And he blew out his knee, which I wonder, I'm not going to go there. But with Bryce, I'm not worried about him blowing out his knee in a non-contact drill play for whatever reason. I'm not going to go there. But what I'm going to say is I'm not worried about his height. I like his burst. I like his creativity. He actually seems like he plays like Patrick Mahomes, but at 5'10. Bryce Young. A 5'10 version of Patrick Mahomes. So I don't know. Is that going to be an all-time great quarterback? Maybe not. But Anthony Richardson could be a bust. C.J. Stroud could be a bust. Bryce Young isn't going to be a bust. He might get hurt, but you can say that about any quarterback. I wouldn't say just because he's small. I mean, Trey Lance got hurt. He's freaking huge.
Yeah, I mean, there is something to it, though. When you're that small, these quarterbacks really do struggle to see the middle of the field. I mean, that's just fact.
That is true.
That can hinder quarterbacks. I mean, the middle of the field is very important in the NFL, and you got to be able to, get throws out on time over the middle. And that is actually, in my opinion, the biggest hindrance in Kyler Murray's game. They have to call all these air raid shot plays to the outside of the numbers, which he can hit because he's got the arm to do so, but it's because he really struggles seeing over the middle of the field. And so if Bryce has that same problem, that's problematic in the NFL. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm not saying he's going to be one thing or not. I'm just things to look out for.
The way I look at it is like every quarterback has his limitations. And obviously with a shorter quarterback, that's a limitation. Yeah. He's not going to be able to do everything you want from the pocket. No. But my question is, what's more important? Being like great from the pocket and being able to do everything from the pocket and have that stature, or being great outside the pocket and being good enough in the pocket? Because Russell Wilson pretty much put together a borderline Hall of Fame career by being good enough from the pocket and being freaking amazing outside the pocket. And there's something to be said for that. Now, he's not at 34. He's not dynamic anymore. But at 25, he was Barry Sanders with an arm. he was.
Yeah.
I would take 25-year-old Russell Wilson.
Yeah. And that's
because he wasn't playing Call of Duty.
Right. That's the reason that Russell's kind of fallen apart is because he's lost that athleticism, and he does struggle to see over the middle of the field. There's plenty of passes he just passes up, and he's very similar to Kyler, and then he's got to hit outside the numbers. So yeah, I mean, all these guys have their flaws. It's tough though. Like for me, and maybe this is a wrong philosophy, I just try to figure out, okay, if you have your flaws, is it something that you can never pick up on and never learn? Or is it something that you could potentially be taught with the right system and right coaches around you? You can't teach height and you can't teach size. You can't teach arm strength. Like there's certain things that just will never be taught. So it's hard. It's hard.
But you also can't teach burst. And I'm starting to feel like, if that were a Madden score, like I would care more about a guy's burst than his height. I mean, obviously you want both. You want both for sure. Yeah. But if someone has a 99 burst and is 5'10", you could work with that.
I agree with that.
You can work with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.